Hello and welcome back to Just Meg Elise, a podcast about healing, remembering who you are, and diving into deeper alignment. I'm Meg, and I'll be your host. So during today's episode, I wanted to talk about how a lot of us have pushed aside the things that bring us joy because we almost think that they're like too frivolous or I don't have time for them or whatever. However, I realize now how important bringing back joy and play is to your life. So this episode is going to be about reclaiming joy and reclaiming play and making space for playing as an adult without guilt. So let's get into what I mean. So when I say play, I don't necessarily mean games or toys, but it could include that as well. Games, video games, board games, whatever makes you happy. But what I really mean is what lights you up. You know, what did you used to do as a child that lit you up? I know for me, it was sketching, it was painting. Let's try and do some of those a little bit more. It was even going to the park. I loved just going to the park and swinging on the swings. Why can't we do that as adults? We absolutely can. Especially if you have children. If you're taking your children to the park, go and swing on the swings with them. Go and swing on the swings for you, you know, and see the joy and the simple joy that brings. But when I say play, I also mean like doing an activity that brings you joy or delight without needing to be productive, helpful, or self-improving at the same time. Being playful, play, doing things for joy, doing hobbies, they're done just for the pleasure of it, just for the pleasure that it brings you. It doesn't have to have a goal. It doesn't have to have growth in mind. It doesn't have to have healing in mind. It doesn't have to prove anything. And making space for joy again and making space for play again, it's how we show our nervous system that it's okay to be safe and alive without earning our place through effort. It could be watching a silly show, humming our favorite song, playing on the floor and looking up at the ceiling like we did when we were kids, rolling around on the floor, rolling down a hill. Well, actually, that one might hurt you because I swear to God, I wake up with injuries sometimes. But you get what I mean. It's coloring for no reason. It's coloring outside of the lines for no reason. Nothing has to be perfect. I heard a quote once, create ugly art and do it every day, and it is so true. One thing that I struggle with is like when I'm painting, I want it to be perfect, right? But it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like I'm selling this art, it's just for me. So why does it have to be perfect? It doesn't. It's just for me. It's just play. It's just joy. It's bringing more joy into my life. So here's what's important in this conversation. A lot of us early on may have learned that our usefulness equaled our safety, and that play was optional, and that productivity equaled our love and care, and therefore our productivity equaled our safety. So as adults, doing things for no reason, for no purpose other than to bring us joy, can feel unsafe and even shameful. We start to get thoughts like, I'm not being productive right now, etc. You know, we've all gotten thoughts like that. Like you're laying on the couch watching a movie and you're thinking to yourself, well, I could be doing something else right now, you know? However, we have to start to heal this. We have to start to speak back to those thoughts and say, no, I am doing something useful right now. I am in play mode. I am in joy mode. And that is important. Because play and joy, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It signals that I am safe right now. And without it, the body is on high alert all the time. It's in high functioning mode all the time. Play isn't just for kids. It's medicine for us. But we tend to forget that as we become adults. Especially like for people who were parentified as children or still are parentified as adults, we very much think that play is frivolous. It's too frivolous. That's not for me. I don't have time for that. And it's so untrue. You know, you're allowed to watch bad TV. You're allowed to go for a walk with no purpose other than to look outside and see nature. You're allowed to hum your favorite song. You're allowed to dive into hobbies that you used to enjoy as a child. You're allowed to do something that makes no sense to somebody else. You're allowed to go outside and dance in the rain. I tried to do this the other day with myself. I actually wrote a list. I wrote all of the things that I loved when I was a child, all of the things that I loved in like my mid-20s, and all of the things that I love now. And I kind of looked at the overlap, and then I went back to the list of when I was a child, all the things that I loved, and I thought, how can I integrate some of these into my own life? Like, one thing that I loved as a child was literally rolling around on the ground. I know that sounds so silly, but you know we've all done it, and we had so much fun doing it. I don't know if I could still, again, I don't know if I could still do it now, and I haven't tried it, because I'm like afraid of hurting something, because I do have a bad back now. But we're missing the point, right? Like, how can we pull the things that used to really bring us joy and made no sense to anybody else? They weren't productive, because who cares? That's not the point. But how can we pull some of that into our everyday lives now? Like, what can we pull from that? I remember another thing that I used to really like as a kid was right when it started to rain, I would go outside and like open my mouth and try and catch raindrops with my mouth. It's so silly, but it's so simple, you know? So it's trying to schedule unproductive joy and moments that are just for you, and you have nothing to do in that moment other than to experience joy and to be free and at play. There's no goals, there's no self-improvement involved. It's just for yourself to give yourself permission to feel awkward and ridiculous. And it's nervous system rewiring. Sometimes your inner child is not asking for more healing through more work and more journaling, right? It's asking for healing through dancing or through self-expression or through allowing yourself to just be present, be joyful, be at play with nothing else in mind other than that. Right? And things are going to come up. You know, we know that. We know that we tend to get thoughts of, I'm not being productive right now, I should be doing something else, etc. When those thoughts come up, you have to start to speak back to those thoughts. Say to those thoughts, that's not true. Play is important. Rest is important. Doing nothing is important, and that's what we're doing right now, and that's what we're focusing on. And continuing to speak back to those thoughts over time, you are rewiring those thoughts when they come up. So the next time those thoughts might not come up, or when they come up, they're easier to talk back to, or they're easier to push aside. You know what I mean? This is where, not to go off on a tangent, but it's important. This is why affirmations are so important. Anytime, I don't just say affirmations in the morning, I say them anytime something comes up in me and I realize it's a very negative thought or a false thought. I then say an affirmation that's the opposite of that. That's how I've started to rewire my brain over time, because then those negative thoughts, they don't come up as much. And then the new thought, the new affirmation that I've been saying or repeating to myself when that old thought would come up, now that new thought starts to come up more often, you know? Or I'm more easily able to interrupt the negative thought with the new positive thought, the new, more truthful thought. So it comes with time and it comes with practice. So I wrote down some common hobbies that you guys could do. So I created 2 lists. I created a list of common hobbies that I want to read to you guys, but then I also created a list of hobbies that are free in case budget is an issue, because we know in this economy, budget is, a thing we're paying attention to. So first I'll read the common hobbies and then I'll read the list of free ones. So common hobbies, we have gardening or tending to plants, photography, reading fiction. I've really gotten into reading fiction again lately, and I really love that. I've been reading before bed, and it's always fiction. It's not self-help books. It's literally just for pleasure and for joy. Here's another one: painting or coloring or sketching, listening to or playing music, cooking or baking, crafting. It could be collage, it could be knitting, it could be crochet, whatever floats your boat. It could be puzzles or games. And this could also include not just board games, but video games, getting back into video games. I actually got back into video games recently. I really love Mario Kart. And I was also, God, I was kick-ass at Guitar Hero years ago. And just getting back into those games again, because why not? It's for your own joy. Here's some more: swimming, hiking, or a casual sport, learning something new, like on Duolingo or YouTube. YouTube University is fantastic for learning something new. And actually, I even do that without meaning to. I needed to learn how to change the oil on my lawnmower, so I looked it up on YouTube, and I felt so powerful after I changed the oil on my lawnmower. I was like, hell yeah, you can do anything. So YouTube University is good for just things around the house and just learning something new, learning something that you've wanted to learn, but you just haven't yet. Go to YouTube. Also, storytelling or improv games with friends. Okay, so here's the free list as well. So free hobbies. Joy without a price tag. Here we go. Walking. And you can do this with earbuds or without. So you can do it without earbuds, just being present, enjoying the nature, enjoying the sounds of birds, or you can do it with earbuds. Listen to a podcast, listen to an audiobook, whatever. Also, audiobooks can be free. They don't have to be something you purchase. Go get a library card. You can rent audiobooks for free. Same thing with regular books. Like you can rent books for free on your Kindle or go and get physical copies of the books at your library. You can also rent free DVDs from your library. Your library is a huge wealth of free hobbies that we often don't tap into. Here's another one. Dancing. Dancing in the room, just dancing in general. Journaling or creative writing. Sketching or doodling. Some people might think, okay, sketching or doodling isn't free. However, at the dollar store, you can buy pens, you can buy pencils, you can buy journals and papers, and they are typically very cheap. So that one might require a little bit of money, but there are things at the dollar store that you can get for very cheap. So here's another. Singing, even if it's badly. Library visits, like I just said, borrowing books, borrowing magazines even, whatever it is. Going to a park or a cafe and people watching, cloud watching, or stargazing. Stargazing is so fun, and it's often something we don't participate anymore. But I know if you sign up for go on Facebook, there are astronomy groups that you can join, and they will tell you anytime a comet is passing by, or when Jupiter is going to be visible, or when a meteor shower is passing by, and you can schedule to go outside and watch those things. It's actually a really fun experience. You could do a DIY spa night. You could have candles, a bath, whatever. So usually we do have those things around our house. We have, soap, we have candles, but if not, those things are very inexpensive at, again, the dollar store. We could practice breath work or meditation. We could take photos with our phone. So photography, again, it doesn't require some fancy camera. Our phones are actually really good cameras now. And once again, YouTube University can show you how to manipulate those photos to be even better, or to take a photo in portrait mode or whatever it is. It could also be organizing or decorating a small space for fun. And again, with decorating, it doesn't have to be buying new things to decorate. I know for me, I love taking the things that I already own and putting them in different rooms. Taking my little elephant statue from the living room and putting it somewhere else, and kind of rearranging the things that I already have. So that's fun too. So cooking creatively with whatever is in your fridge, that one's fun. And there are actually free apps or free websites where you can type in everything that you have in your house, all the ingredients that you already have, and it will tell you what you can cook. You can also do yoga or stretching or Pilates. There are tons of free YouTube videos to do that. You could write postcards or notes to yourself or others. So again, this might require just a little bit of money up front. I know they have poster boards and cardboards and stuff like that at the dollar store, but you could also use just regular printer paper that you have at home. You could also make playlists for whatever your vibe is. I really enjoy doing this. I've actually been doing this for years, but I do it on YouTube. I look up, first of all, I think of a song that I really love, and then I listen to the next song and the next song and the next song, because it's recommending similar songs to you. And if I find a song that, say, I haven't heard in a while, or it's a really great song or whatever, I'll add it to a playlist. I have a playlist that's called Great Songs. I have a playlist that's called Joy. I have a playlist that's called Energy, that sort of thing. So whatever sort of vibe that I'm in, I can play that playlist. And then here's the last one. Watching bad TV without guilt. TV, for the most part, it's not completely free. We know Netflix and all of those things aren't free, but you can get free channels. There are free channels that you can get. Just plugging a cable cord into the wall, you can get a few free channels that way. But there are other ways to find free TV, like Tubi. I know they have free movies and stuff like that. There are free options. And also, you guys know I love journaling prompts. I wrote down a few journaling prompts for this one. And again, you can write them in a journal, or you can just answer them in your head right now as I'm asking the question. So, what did I enjoy doing most as a child? And writing those things down. And what can we pull from that list to try and do now as an adult? When was the last time I did something just for fun? Not to be good at it or to be productive, but just for fun. What was it, and can I repeat that activity? What stories do I possibly carry about play being a waste of time? And where did those stories possibly come from? And are those stories untrue? What does guilt try to tell me when I rest or play? And whose voice is that, perhaps? And is that voice possibly incorrect or untrue? What would it look like to give myself permission to be delightfully unproductive, even if just for 10 minutes? What would that look like, and what would it feel like? If I had a joy menu or a play menu of playful or nourishing things to try, what might be on it? I like that one. So again, that ties back into thinking about what you used to do as a child and then writing those things down. But you're also going to have different hobbies that you love now as an adult. Maybe you love pickleball or something like that, like writing those things down. And then even if you're having, here's a good one. If you're having a moment of boredom, going to your joy menu, going to your play menu, and picking something, like write down the ones that I told you about, the free hobbies or the different common hobbies that people have, and picking from that menu and choosing one and going and doing it, whether it's for 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 5 hours, who cares? Like allowing yourself the space to do those things without guilt. And again, guilt might still come up. You still might have those thoughts come up. That's normal. It's just trying to speak back to those thoughts when they come up and telling yourself that's not true. And we are being productive by being unproductive because this is good for my nervous system. Saying something like that to yourself when those thoughts come up. And here's another good one. What would I try to do if no one was watching and it didn't matter if I was good at it? What would I try to do if no one was watching and it didn't matter if I was good at it? I really like that one. I think for me, it would be painting more weird stuff. Like not caring what people think about it, not caring what colors I use, not caring if it makes any sense or if I'm like coloring within the lines. Who cares? It's just for me. I'm not selling this artwork. It's just for me. And like finding that same thing for you and doing it more often. So I want to ask something of you. After we end this episode, please take 5 minutes. I'm asking for 5 minutes for you to go do something that's just for you, that's just for joy, that's just for play. Whether that's, again, dancing in your living room, creating a playlist for yourself, sketching for a minute, walking outside, whatever it is, doing it just for you with no intention of being productive. So hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you want to go deeper on your healing journey, there are many different ways to connect, all of which will be linked below in the show description notes. So if you want to pick up a copy of my book, Don't You Dare, it's a wonderful tool for diving into the ego voice and shadow work. I also have my Most Loved Meditation Bundle available for purchase. These are my highest rated meditations over the years. I have my Affirmation Reset course available. This helps us to rewire negative thinking and limiting beliefs. I also offer one-on-one coaching and hypnotherapy services. If you're interested in a session with me, please visit my website, meganshirey.com, meganshirey.com. I also teach a free live guided meditation on the Insight Timer app every Sunday morning at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, 7 Pacific. So please join us there. Please also join us on Patreon for exclusive meditations, behind-the-scenes reflections, and a soft healing community space. And also, if you enjoy these episodes, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and please leave us a review. It helps us to reach more listeners. May you be happy, may you be well, may you be joyous and at ease, sending you infinite love and light, and until next time.